Hey all, and welcome to the winner announcement for the Name This Wheel contest that we were running on the Unseen Strands podcast, episode 27. Now, we're doing this in the old-fashioned photo version because I'm going to have a fulfilled day today, and I really don't have time to set up camera and mess with things. So, anyways, I have a teaser for our winner, and yeah, guys, I am going to sing something for you. It is a song from maybe my sophomore year in high school. It's been a while since I was in high school, and so yeah. And I'll have all the sinus stuff going on, so please forgive me. I'm not really a solo artist, but I kind of had to sing a guy line in here too. So yeah, here is your teaser for the Name This Wheel contest. You read about Samson. From his birth he was the strongest man that ever lived on earth. Way back yonder in ancient times, he killed 10,000 of the Philistines. Then old Samson went a wandering about. Samson's strength was never found out, till his wife sat upon his knee. She said, "Tell me where your strength lies, if you please." Samson's wife, she talked so fair. Samson said, "Cut off for my hair, cut it off." Okay guys, did you get my little hint there at the name? Who was Samson's wife? It was Delilah. And that suggestion was from Bev Adams. So Bev, if you would send me an email over at unseenstrands@gmail.com, or you can message me over on Ravelry under Mo's Crochet, I would really appreciate it. And all that message needs to include is, since I don't have any clue about anything about you, maybe a little paragraph about yourself and your mailing address, and that would be fantastic. And anyone have good suggestions on how I can make sure it's Bev and not an imposter Bev? Bev, if you have Ravelry and would like to give me your Ravelry name, that would be awesome, so that I can make sure we get the real you. Because, I've heard there has been imposters going around, but I think my contests are unknown enough that it won't be a big issue. But just in case. Anywho, so one of the main reasons that I had to go with this name. There was several really great names, and we will be getting a, Electric Eel Nano in the summer sometime whenever our Kickstarter comes up. And yeah, so we'll have more contests and more things to name in the future. But the reason I really had to go with this was, now whenever I see that spinning wheel, it's going to bring up that song, which is "Who Will Be a Witness for My Lord," just in case you were wondering, which is kind of like, I was trying to look up the exact song on Google yesterday, and I couldn't find it, and I think it's because it's kind of a African-American gospel-y song. I found something with lyrics that were kind of similar, but weren't the exact thing. But yeah, so now I will get to sing that along every time in my head when I pull up my spinning wheel. And yeah, I really like the idea of I'm taking the fiber and spinning it into something strong, and hopefully as strong as Samson's hair. But yeah, I loved that imagery, and I think at least for this first spinning wheel, that was the absolute perfect name. So I think that's it for the spinning contest things. The only other thing I would like to mention today is I did go over and start a Ko-Fi page. Now, I know a lot of people have been going over to Patreon, but even though I have a Patreon account that I created maybe a year ago, I pretty much neglected it because It's just not the right platform for me. I am too busy to invest time into it, basically. I mean, I can't even get my own Etsy shop up and running. How am I supposed to create content and things on a regular basis for you? So anyways, so the Ko-Fi, or Ko-fi, I think is what I've heard a lot of people say. I've heard a few podcasters mention it and are using it. And so I went and checked it out the other day. And what it is basically a tip jar. Now, they have what I think people keep calling it Ko-fi because you buy coffees and they think coffee and Ko-fi sound similar. I'm not sure. But I think it's spelled more like Ko-Fi. So that's what I'm going to go with. But their version of buying a coffee is just basically you are donating a set amount to that person's PayPal account. And all that is doing is by buying a coffee, you are donating. The free account is a $3 amount, and that $3 goes straight into my or whatever creator's PayPal account that you are buying coffees for. So they just use the term coffee. Now, if you get, they have a subscription service, and if you were to do that monthly fee program, I can't remember what they call it, I think it's like the gold program or something, then you can change that to anything you want. So it'd be really cool if someday we got really popular and I could change that to like balls of yarn or skeins and maybe even change the amount. And then if you also have that gold membership or whatever, you can have a subscription so people could basically donate to you just like Patreon. But that gold membership is how they are making this a free service and tip jar out to the general public, even those with the free account. But yeah, unlike Patreon, all the money goes to the creators, which is why I really liked the idea of this account or service or whatever. So anyways, to spell that, you would go to ko-fi.com/unseen strands. And that dash is the is the key on the keyboard that is like next to the 0, or I think, which is usually the underscore if you hit the shift key. But yeah, we just need the dash. And yeah, if you'd like to go over there and support me and buy me a coffee. Now, you can set up goals, and so I did set up our first goal, and what my first goal is to buy a talking digital scale. Now, you've probably heard me before, and I'm not as productive as I could be because I have to get my children to weigh me things a lot of the time, and they hate this. They absolutely hate it. And so I would really like to be able to go out and, buy a talking scale so that I don't have to rely on others and I can be a little more self-efficient. So that first goal, I want to say it was either $50 or $60. I did just go on Amazon and kind of browse and look for one that would work. There might be a little cheaper one out there, although I doubt I can do one for much less than that, because I know your typical little food or mail scales are between $25, $30. They're not exactly the cheapest things in the world. But yeah, if I could get a talking scale, that would be absolutely fantastic. And I think a real good way to make a nice improvement to this podcast. And it might not be something you would notice, but it was something that I would like to do that I normally wouldn't do because, that's money that I could use on so many other things. And $50, how much yarn is that going to buy, guys? Anyways, I'm going to let you guys go today, and I'll leave the link to that below and my email address down below for Bev. And yeah, guys, I hope you have a fantastic weekend and stay warm and don't get too snowed in. And as always, guys, if you haven't already, hook the like button and subscribe.